I also, real quick, for those of you who don't know, prosperity gospel is the idea that God's favor is shown through prosperity, through wealth. So if you're rich, God favors you.
So that means fucked our rules, mom, basically.
Welcome to My Brother, My Brother's Friend, and Me, a podcast where two ex-evangelical siblings and an ex-Catholic non-sibling watch Christian media and either praise or condemn it. I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Michael.
And this week, we put on our Sunday best for what YouTuber Maggie Mayfish describes as the Fire Festival of Christian films, I'm in Love with a Church Girl. Before we're arrested on drug trafficking charges, be sure to like and comment on this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on Twitter at MBMBFandMe. Gentlemen, I don't know about this one.
I just want to say real quick, I think everyone who is listening to this podcast, as in our significant others, are thinking of the joke, I want a church girl to go to church with and read her Bible. Okay, the Vine reference has been made. Now we can continue.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Anytime.
So yeah, we probably all watched this movie within the last 3 hours, and gonna be real with y'all, about halfway through I was like, nothing's happening. Is this a bad movie? And I think it is. I think it is a bad movie, and not in the way that the Flophouse would categorize it as like a good bad movie, but just like a movie where nothing really happens. Like if you cut this movie in half, it might have been salvageable, but I don't know. I didn't like it very much.
So I do have a quibble with nothing happens, because plenty happens, but none of it is connected. None of it really seems to have any sort of connective tissue or discernible plot. Like, there are plot points, but there's not an overarching story being told here.
There sure was a script with words that were said.
Yeah.
So to summarize, basically, Ja Rule, who plays this guy, Miles, he's like a drug dealer, and he meets one of the cheetah girls. Is that Adrienne Bailon?
Yeah.
Okay. He meets her, he falls in love with her. They go on, like, a lot of dates, and they're very boring, and then his drug dealer friends get put in prison, but he doesn't because he's religious at the end of the movie. And that's kind of it.
Do you guys,
yeah.
This is surprisingly similar to Tim Allen's life story.
Sorry?
Oh, did you not know that Tim Allen almost went to jail for life in prison for having 1.5 pounds of cocaine?
I did not, no.
Yeah, the reason he didn't go to jail is because he ratted out all of his friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and now he thinks Karl Marx would like
With the
child
C.
labor, maybe?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toby Mac was in this film.
Oh, I thought I saw some famous Christian person.
Oh, God. Memories.
I thought there was a point I thought Marco Rubio was in this movie because there's some generic-looking man quoting scripture at a bunch of bored-looking people, but they didn't quite get that one.
Well, we have had Mike Huckabee on this cast with One of the Gods Not Dead, so if we get Marco Rubio, it'd be nice to get like the whole B team of people who ran for president in 2016.
Oh my god, I can't believe Huckabee did run for president in 2016.
I'm pretty sure he did, right?
I'm sure you're right.
2012, I believe.
2012 for sure, but I don't
Yeah.
know if he did in 16.
I don't know. It's going to be hard for us to find the Ben Carson sex tape. That's the only movie I know him from.
What?
That was a goof, Aaron.
Okay. Listen, fucking Ben Carson got COVID this week, so, like, anything can happen.
I think this film could have used, like, just one more famous person. It didn't feel like enough.
I thought you were going to say could use a sex scene, and I was going to agree.
There was almost a sex scene where Ja Rule got really horny reading Song of Songs and had to go take a cold shower, which I thought was awesome.
That was That definitely happened to you, though, right, Aaron? Because that was the most Aaron thing I've ever seen. If you were like, yeah, once I got too horned up reading Song of Solomon and, 8th grade.
Wrong. I'm a Catholic. We don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
I forgot you guys aren't allowed. It's read at you.
That's right.
Speaking of read at you, this entire film is basically like a long sermon about prosperity gospel.
Yeah.
I mean, so I texted this to the boys, and I feel like I have to share it on the chat. So it makes sense to me that in this film, my fun facts revealed that Ja Rule actually converted and was baptized as a direct result of filming and releasing this movie, because he filmed it in 2010. The film was released in 2014, and that's when he got saved and baptized.
I fucking love the idea of a PR stunt baptism. Just to really get the word out.
I'm obsessed. And, so he got baptized with his wife, and then, of course, naturally, the next step he did was to have Fire Festival. And, I do think that the natural conclusion of prosperity gospel is scamming a bunch of people out of money, so.
Fire Festival is what happens when, prosperity gospel goes on for too long.
Yeah.
I do want to apologize to our listener, where you're probably going to be like, man, I can't wait for them to talk about the movie. And then Aaron and I are going to talk about things that aren't the movie. And then Michael will be like, all right, now the movie. And then Aaron and I will go, no. Because I don't think... Michael's got some fun heat that he's going to be throwing. I got nothing funny about this fucking movie. I was very boring.
I laughed so hard I cried actual tears at the last scene.
Why are we not compatible movie-wise, Michael?
Because so here was the reason I laughed, is because
you're stoned currently.
It's because this film has no self-awareness whatsoever, and like, if you really pick it apart, it is a truly, like, anti-Christian movie. It shows all the Christians as, like, greedy and self-centered and self-involved and, like, overly self-righteous. And, like, shows that, has them bragging about that, leans into it, and is like, yeah, God's an executive producer. This is a Christian movie.
Michael's not joking. They do credit God as an executive producer. And I love the idea of them getting halfway through that movie and him going, I'm sorry, I hate to just step in for a second, but I have some thoughts.
Well, and the scene I cried laughing at is when Ja Rule became the pastor. I died.
So fucking stupid.
I died.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I mentioned YouTuber Maggie Mayfish at the beginning, and she's the person who... She did a video essay on this movie, which is how I, unfortunately, made us watch it. And the reason that I thought we were gonna have a good time is because she has a pretty good, like, breakdown of how this movie, like, sort of shows all the terrible aspects of, like, prosperity gospel Christianity, and, like, how there's a weird way they handle Christianity. Like, a lot of the people are like, oh, no, we're technically Christian, but we prefer men and women of faith. Like, they don't want to make themselves into a denomination. And, like, the fucking pastor at the mega church literally drives a Lamborghini, parks it, and then just, like, leaves it there when he walks into the church. And then later when Ja Rule's talking to him, is like, man, I didn't read anywhere in the Bible that it was a sin to have style. And I was just like, holy shit, it's so not aware of the terrible, terrible nature of it itself.
And this is why I laughed. Like, I died at that scene because I texted Aaron about 5 minutes into this film and asked, is this satire? Because to me, it felt like the whole time it was satire, and finding out that it's not has fed me in a way I did not know I was hungry.
It did almost feel like there was one individual that, like, thought it was a satire and was able to slip in some, like, really funny shit, and then, like, looked around the room like, right? And everyone's like, yes, God did not say you had to not have style.
I mean, I do feel like there was, like, maybe one person in the writer's room that's almost like the audience surrogate and, like, is winking at us. And, like, everyone's like, dude, this is a Christian romance movie, right? And they're like, yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I also, real quick, for those of you who don't know, prosperity gospel is the idea that God's favor is shown through prosperity, through wealth. So if you're rich, God favors you.
So that means fuck Ja Rule's mom, basically.
I mean, Ja Rule's mom does die in this movie, and it's because she wasn't wealthy enough, I guess.
Yeah.
No, the stated reason, I feel very strongly about this,
God.
and I came to a conclusion. So my history of true crime has really paid off for me in this film. So I did a little investigation, because every review that I read, everything that I've seen, and even in film, only talks about her illness. She suddenly gets ill and dies. But her husband, his father, says something very revealing, that she believes aspirin can fix everything. So that context clue alone leads us to believe she died of liver failure for taking aspirin way too much.
Michael, you have a talent that is so great and useless that, like, I am in awe of it constantly, but also I go, God, that will not assist you in any aspect of your life.
I mean, no, Michael's talent is being wasted. He should be fucking up there with God, top billing on this movie, so he could made some fucking narrative decisions instead of just being like, oh, whoops, Vanessa got in a car accident and Ja Rule's mom died. We gotta, now he has to have a fight with stained glass Jesus for 15 minutes. Like,
how cool would it have been if there was like a weird anti-aspirin spin to this entire movie? Like, if it would, they just were like, yeah, she thought aspirin could cure anything, but we all know it can't cure anything.
Okay, so I have a pitch for a way to make this film better already. What if the enemy was Big Pharma?
Ooh, because it's not
So,
Christian enough.
And all of his friends are drug dealers, and then, like, at the end, the moral of the story is they're not the bad guys, it's Big Pharma.
That's so good.
The opioid epidemic is being caused by greedy drug companies, obviously.
And then there's a shootout between the drug dealers and the drug dealers.
And the only ones who live, the pastors.
And Jesus. Jesus gets shot. Jesus does die in the movie.
I mean,
probably.
I don't know. There's just so much weird shit in this movie. Like, can we talk about his crew for a second?
Oh my God.
I don't know any one of their names. Okay, one of them was named Wiki, which is very funny, like Wikipedia, I guess. But like,
that's our nickname for Michael.
Yeah, of course. But like, the one guy that stood out to me was like his supposed best friend, who looks like just like a taller white guy with a Padawan braid, who talks like he is from like a 1980s cartoon about how people think gangsters talk, and it's so
it felt
funny.
like a Just Say No video.
Honestly.
Like, I felt like I was in Dare.
It did feel like exactly what our pastor told us would happen if we smoked a joint.
He was like, yo, my brother, let me holler at you for a second. We need to talk about the straight dope about all the drugs that we do to dishonor God.
Aaron,
Hello, fellow kids.
I will give you all of my money to just continue speaking like that.
Okay, here's the thing, Josh. I went to 2 private schools in central Illinois. I already talk like that.
Somehow you are the whitest person right now.
I don't hide it.
Oh God, this movie sucks ass.
Speaking of the whitest people, can we talk about how it's very clear that Vanessa's parents are both white and she is not, and that is just never addressed?
That is true. Her mom's a fucking racist, by the way.
Yeah! So, okay, let's explain this to the audience, because none of you should waste any fucking time watching this film,
No.
but you should listen to us talk about it, because it's so good.
This is not a classic watch-along.
No. So Vanessa's parents meet Ja Rule, whose name in this film I've already forgotten.
It's Miles.
Miles.
Because somebody says he has a superhero name, which is actually true. I'll find it.
Yeah. So they meet Miles, and it's very clear that Vanessa's mom looks him up and down and is like, you're the guy who's taking out my daughter? And it's like, okay. All right.
Maybe she just meant, like, oh my God, you're Ja Rule.
No, it was very clear that was not the connotation. It was not, I'm impressed.
Yeah. No, like, there's two specific scenes. Firstly, she does not shake his hand, because he introduces himself to her parents, and he's like, my name's Miles Montego, and then her dad's like, that sounds like a superhero name, which is really good. But then she's like, oh, you're Miles? This isn't what I expected. And like he offers his hand for her to shake, and she crosses her arms. And later on, she's just like, I just got a bad vibe from him. How can you be sleeping, my husband, when she's out with that? He's not a boy, whatever he is. He's not a boy. Like, extremely, like,
so blatant.
Like, listen,
she wanted to say thug. Like, that's what she wanted to say.
Like, clearly the show is like not self-aware enough to know that it's even doing this racial coding, but it absolutely is.
I do wonder if someone was like, we're really going to tackle an issue of race here. We're really going to dissect it and start a conversation.
Yeah, this was clearly a very sensitive meditation on race relations in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, again, I stand by my point. I don't think they shot any specific scene with the next scene in mind. Like, I feel like this was a quilt. Like, I feel like they shot individual scenes, just programmed them together and was like, this is a film, I guess.
They didn't even send it to an editor. They just made a computer go like, I don't know, I guess this scene comes next.
Like, it's so, like, all this shit is completely out of context. Like, there's one thing where, like, he's taking Vanessa home from this, like, concert, because apparently he's a concert promoter or whatever. But, like, he sees, I guess, his friends getting mugged, like, for no idea why. Whatever reason they're being attacked doesn't come up in the film. But, like, he sees some people break their window, and he's like, oh, sorry, babe, I gotta pull over my Bentley, withdraws a pistol from underneath his seat, and walks up there, and comes up to them like fucking, like, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, like, hey, what's up, guys? And, like, he picks up another pistol and dual wields and, like, holds these muggers hostage like he's in a goddamn Call of Duty game. And it's just like, and then later on when they cut back, she's like, wow, that was really stressful. And then he's like, yeah, I had to do that for some reason. I wanted to, keep you protected. Also, I have a lot of money in this briefcase that was never mentioned before. That's why I have a gun.
Aaron, at just some point in this podcast, can you just edit me going, and now I'm getting mugged? Just because this movie is such, and then, because it just, there's no, it was the fucking weirdest watch ever.
We should also talk about the cops real quick. What purpose do you think the cops served here?
Much like real life, none.
They were both the bad guys and also useless, which I guess is very funny for this show that's ostensibly like for a conservative audience.
Well, and they picked the bad Baldwin brother, who is always like, I don't know, just doing a cheap imitation of his older brother, which is hilarious. And he's like trying to do this gravelly voice, and it's really not working. He sounds like he's trying to be Batman.
The thing about the cops here is that, like, they arrest his gang member friends, like, at the end, but, like, for the majority of the movie, the cop is just, like, watching him, and he's like, I gotta take this guy down. He wears more than what we make in a year on his wrist, and his house is worth all of our houses put together. I'm so horny for this guy, I gotta take him down. Like, it's, like very nearly homoerotic, his obsession with Miles. And then, like, at the end... Oh, go ahead.
It's obviously so, because we also get to see Miles hate crime some people, which just very casually.
Wait, hold on. What was the hate crime?
When he like takes the hat off of the guy and is like, yo, this is San Jose, not San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even catch that. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's when the police are surveilling him and catch him doing that. So yes, this film should have ended with Miles and the cop.
I would, if they went from enemies to lovers, I would go completely around on this movie, and it would be the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, it would be fucking sick if they made anything besides the completely boring and predictable narrative choice. But instead...
somehow if they were gay, it would have gone the all homophobes are secretly gay, and both of them would have died somehow.
Yeah.
Like, just the funniest thing is that, like, the cop at the end, like, who he's just obsessed with him, he just sort of gives up. He's like, oh, well, his mom died and I feel bad for him, so I'm gonna stop questioning him.
It's just, like, I felt like they felt the need by that scene to tie something in. So they're like, yes, his mom died earlier. Let's use that. Good idea. There were no bad ideas on this film. There was not a single person in the room to say, hey, that's like not a great one.
No one was like, oh yes, Ja Rule producing the old school funk fest in California. Is it going to be a complete 100% smash hit that's going to send him home with a briefcase full of money? Obviously.
I'd love to see Ja Rule's old funk fest.
That was the prototype for Firefest.
Yeah.
And he thought it was going to go great, just like Firefest.
I just want to talk about Firefest.
I mean, listen, there's a whole, like, network of podcasts devoted to Firefest. We can't cover that ground.
Yeah, that's some non-fertile ground.
I just, like, every time I thought this film was wrapped up with absurdity, they would add another layer.
Yeah, like, gosh, there's one part, another complete non sequitur, where, like, Ja Rule, like, is taking Vanessa shopping, basically. He's like, I have so much money, let's go shopping. And this one lady comes out and recognizes Ja Rule, and she's like, oh, hey, Miles, how's it going? And he's like, oh, hi, yeah. And then Vanessa gets inexplicably furious, and she's like, hey, our kids are waiting, let's go. And Ja Rule's like, what the fuck? And then later on, she's like, did you sleep with that woman? And he's like, yeah, I guess, like, years ago, why? And she's like, I hate you. It's like, complete non sequitur, like, that's the end of the scene.
And let's just be real. She's the worst. Because she's over here like, okay, so I need to date a man of God. And then here is this former drug dealer who works in the music industry. And that's the man I'm going to choose because I want a man of God. And literally, like, started missionary dating him. Like, that's sociopathic.
I bet you two both knew a ton of people that did missionary work in their relationships.
I was just about to say we literally watched a movie in which a woman was like, my magical vagina will turn a man straight. Like, there is a lot of like, so many people were out there just like, my vagina will bring those to Christ.
I mean, there is also a very good line where he is talking about how he is having this conversation like right after his mom like is sent to the hospital, and he's talking to Vanessa, and he's like, I know my mom's dying and everything, but I also, you know, after I talked to this one woman at the club, and I thought I was going to get a lap dance, but then I decided against it. You know, I just feel a lot of guilt and shame right now. And I was like, damn it, she got to you. That's how you know you're a Christian.
I thought you meant that,
welcome.
Who hasn't almost gotten a lap dance and, like, fallen in love? That's what I thought you were going with it.
Do you have a lot of experience with that, Josh?
God, my heart's too big. What can I say?
Can't take Josh to any strip clubs.
No, I'm just falling in love with each
marriage.
of them. Yeah, I just think
it's
that,
been like 4 proposals, like, it's exhausting.
Yeah, I'm on my 5th marriage, y'all.
Oh, God.
It's getting expensive.
I'm not going to the next wedding.
That's fair. You officiate 3 of them. Best man for 2.
Another really funny thing was that Jerule's mom's dying wish was for him to have grandchildren, which was really funny.
Well, and her living wish was to go to Sandals Resorts.
Oh my god, I forgot about Sandals. Do you all remember those commercials?
Yes!
Yes!
Listen, she knew her limits. She knew her limits.
See, I'm fucking crying again. This is why I knew we had plenty to talk about in this movie.
Michael,
we don't talk about the plot of this movie, it's fine.
How many of our relatives are dying wishes gonna be for us to give them just to have kids? Because I think there are like 5 people that are gonna look at me and go, I want you to reproduce.
I mean, look, that seems like your thing, not mine. They've all given up.
God, I should have come out as gay earlier.
Yeah, you should have had a joint deal where I'm like our publicist releasing a joint message.
Attention, Southern Baptist family, I'm speaking for the Greene brothers. They have both announced that they have given up vagina. That is all. No questions.
Your line ends with us. Goodbye.
It would be more along the lines of, hi, so we appreciate your inquiry about reproduction. However, we regret to decline you that neither Greene brother will be participating. There will be no room for questions. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Michael's too good at customer service voice. Aaron, real talk, I'm a little worried that sometimes that Michael's going to get into politics and end the world.
And end it.
Yeah. Because there's a little bit of our father that is in you that could make you just start a cult.
I think Michael wouldn't be... I don't think Michael would run for office. I think he'd be, like, either a chief of staff or, like, one of those, like, dark money backers who is, like, pulling the strings and manipulating people.
Probably. That's both of those are fair.
I don't know. Michael giving a campaign speech. Oh, my God. Aaron, just cut out every part I'm talking. I won't send you my audio.
It'll just be the two of us and then random laughters.
Yeah.
It's gonna make the part about you reproducing really weird though.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just Michael going, my brother's not gonna have kids.
It's my way of sending the message.
Another really funny detail from this film was that when Jarul was stalking Vanessa in the first scene, he's driving this Bentley like very fast through the streets of some Californian city, and he also has a Bluetooth earpiece in the whole time.
Because of fucking course he does.
Because it's from 2009, so that was cool back then.
It really felt like they wanted this to be like a Fast and Furious scene.
Yeah, except instead of being Fast and Furious, he just gets pulled over by a cop and then allows the cop to pull him over.
Yeah. It's just, okay, so this film was rated PG, and you can really tell that they had those constraints, but also, why?
Yeah, why the fuck is this movie PG?
Yeah, like, it's about a drug dealer that falls in love with a good Christian girl whose mother dies, and then the Christian girl ends up in the hospital in a coma. Like, it's...
What drugs do kids think they're selling? Like, we can make it at least PG-13.
Well, it's like the Christian conception of drugs. You never see them. You're not supposed to know what they look like, except you know that they're sinful.
You also don't know what kind of drug, and the, like, nuances are completely lost. You just have to, read between the lines of all the times that they pan into the DEA jacket.
Mm-hmm. Marijuana is directly equivalent to black tar heroin, and both will send you to hell.
Both will.
Both are the same. Both send you straight to hell.
It will kill you. Actually, marijuana's worse.
Yeah, because that one gets you pregnant, too.
That's correct.
That's how I got pregnant the first time.
Can we talk... Since you guys actually have experience with a Christian rapper, how did you feel about him coming into the music store and being like, oh man, this dude right here looks like a real rapper. Mr. T-Bone, wow, he's so cool.
I think I have the most real-life embarrassing thing I've ever said, and I don't know if Michael knows this fact. One of my exes, their sibling was a Christian rapper, and I had to sit through quite a few performances, and it was quite... I feel the secondhand embarrassment still, and I don't like this ex. I don't know why I'm embarrassed. It was as bad as you would expect it to be.
It sounds really bad.
It was real bad. It was real bad.
Did you have to listen to him work on lines, or
no?
Or did you just go to the concerts?
I would have to see him perform at a local coffee shop, in which he would come up and go, "What you think?" And I had
That's actually worse. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's way worse.
It was a coffee
worse.
shop of 5 people trying to drink their drinks and have a nice time, and then 5 people watching it.
If a dude with a fucking Macklemore coat started rapping about Jesus in my Starbucks, I would burn it down.
He was also oh god, I don't dislike the guy, which is why I feel bad kind of roasting him, but my god, it was very cringy.
Oh my lord.
So a little message that should just be on the internet from here on out. If you want to be a Christian rapper, you could try not. Yeah.
No.
There are other things you could do.
Try rapping about dogs.
Just
Or maybe just don't rap.
Just get a degree, be an accountant, put money into your 401k.
Learn a trade.
Fucking capitalist pigs.
I mean, you can put money into your 401k and also, support your local mutual aid fund. I'm not picky.
I think that if you have a desire to be a Christian rapper, I just think therapy's cheaper.
If you have a desire to be a Christian rapper, I'm going to drop my Venmo in the show notes, and you can just send me your money instead of setting it on fire.
I want to send a challenge. Can everyone just comment your favorite Christian rapper on the YouTube video? Just send us your favorite Christian rappers. But, like, dig deep. Like, I don't want to see the Jesus freak nonsense. I want to get, like, some I haven't actually seen and heard of.
The problem is you're probably the most well-versed on Christian rappers outside of the Christian rapper scene.
I feel I'm still embarrassed from what I told you guys.
I think my favorite Christian rapper is Eminem.
I just wish he would stop putting maggot in his rhymes, because you know what's coming next. You know what's coming next. God damn it, Eminem.
Damn it, Eminem. Do we have any other great things to say about this movie?
I have a couple of reviews.
Oh, please. This is my favorite game.
Can we try to guess the stars?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them don't have stars. So
what the fuck? Is it just a comment then?
It's so some of them are just like overall like reviews, like positive or negative, right?
Oh, okay.
Like where they're like long read reviews, not numerical.
Okay. Let us know, like a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of situation.
Okay, so the first one's going to be a thumbs up, thumbs down. And this is from Scott Foundus at Variety. Even having God on the production team can't save this church girl from its heavy-handed sermonizing.
That's a thumbs down.
That's going to be a down. It's going to be a thumbs down.
Yep. So this one is a rating. And I very much appreciate this one. This is from Sarah Stewart at the New York Post. This overlong drama plays like a threefold infomercial for Christianity, the cheesy resort chain Sandals, and Jeff Ja Rule Atkins, the rapper turned actor playing drug kingpin Miles Montego.
Are we doing a 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10?
It's out of 4.
Oh wow, okay.
That's a 2.
That's a half a star.
That's a 1.
Split
the difference. Here's another one that's in the same vein from Steve Boone. So this is for myself and most folks expecting a movie. It is too transparent an infomercial for the church to move the mountain.
I'm sticking with half.
That seems pretty nice. I'll give it a 1.
So that was 2 out of 4.
Okay,
that was nicer.
good.
Wow. Transparent, terrible time. Not that bad.
I've seen worse.
C-.
I've got a very simple one. I have 2 more. So this one is from Miriam Bale at the New York Times. This is out of 5 stars. A message film with the narrative sophistication of a recruiting pamphlet.
2.5.
3 stars.
1 star.
I thought she
Meredith
really liked the pamphlet.
Damn.
And last but not least is Stephanie Mary from the Washington Post. We're apparently supposed to root for these two to make it, although Vanessa is outlandishly jealous and pushy. And this is out of 4 stars.
2
1
stars.
and a half.
This was 1.
Man. Aaron, we are not on our game today.
So, any guesses to what the Tomatometer says about this film? What percentage it gives it?
13 critics, 47 audience.
I say 19 critics, 58 audience.
Ooh, so one of you is right on one, and one of you is right on the other. So, the critical consensus on this is 11% on the critics. However, audiences, like they often are, were wrong in rating this 63% positive.
63%! Okay, well, you know what 63% correlates with?
The amount of people that like to get cucked.
Yes, so... maybe
Oh my
maybe
god,
there's a
I would
connection
love
there.
to see the tagline, Cuck's favorite movie.
Oh.
And I do think it's important to note that apparently, according to this film's Wikipedia page, the writer based this film on his own experience during his time in prison.
Yeah, the writer is in this film, actually. You know the pastor with the white Lambo?
Yep.
That's him.
A fucking course. A fucking course.
Yep.
God, I'm surprised you didn't walk up to J Rule.
J. Rule. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Do you guys listen to that J Rule? I'm surprised you didn't walk up to Ja Rule and just go, man, your dick's huge, and then just walk away.
I mean, it was that masturbatory of a film, though, that I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just walked up to him and been like, man, fucking horses are hung like you.
I mean, I would be so embarrassed that this is the kind of film that, like, if I were an actor and I were building my portfolio, I would leave this line out of my resume.
I would
Rightfully so.
This would be like the header, the closer. I'd walk in and be like, maybe you've heard of me. I was the dude Ja Rule punched.
God.
So what are all of your ratings for this film?
Oof, I think I'm going to give this one the Netflix Firefest documentary. The worst, the second best Firefest documentary out of 2.
I'm going to give it the 9th station, Jesus Falls for the 3rd time, because, it just kept going and going, and I was just ready for it to be over.
I am going to give this film 1 out of 5 empty bottles of fake tears. Because it's very clear they went through a large amount in this film. No one actually cries.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we were able to talk about this. This was actually more enjoyable than watching the movie, and we didn't have to go through the whole plot because there wasn't a whole lot there.
Yeah, there wasn't any.
No.
Michael, do you want to talk about what we're going to try to do next week?
Yeah, so I talked to the two of you and I talked to our friend Jeff, and we are going to watch the gayest film thus far, and it is called Latter Days, about a Mormon missionary who falls in love with a man. And so we're bringing Jeff on to talk a little bit about the Mormon church and dissect this movie.
Yeah, this is going to rule. I'm very excited to talk about Jeff.
This film is fucking wild, by the way, and like in a soap opera way. So I do want everyone to know what they're getting into.
Yeah, we'll be braced.
I heard a fact that won't leave my brain unless I voice it outward. I heard, and I haven't done too much digging, that Stephanie Myers, the writer of Twilight, is a devout Mormon.
That's correct.
Yes.
And that inspired a lot of her work.
Yes.
Yes, like the fact that vampires, so being a vampire is like synonymous with like becoming, like ascending is my understanding, like to their higher like spiritual body. So that's why vampires like can't get tattoos, because Mormons also don't like tattoos.
So I just want to let everyone know that while Jeff is here, I will be asking him lots of questions that revolve around Twilight, just so I can understand.
Great. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
I'm sure he's very excited.
He's going to hear this part of the podcast and go, never mind, I can't make it.
It's going to be like, I'm blocking you all.
Much like Aaron, he's going to be like, fuck, I never should have met Michael.
Oh. All right. Gentlemen, where can people find you on the internet?
I am at Greene History on Twitter.
I'm at Michael's Diamonds on Twitter.
I'm at AaronSXL on Twitter. You can also listen to my other podcast, at Mortified Pod. Me and Layla are going to do a Scorpio season kind of a fun episode coming up. And we're also going to be recording a very special episode with Michael very soon, where we talk about anime hairstyles. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because it's going to be very fun. Well, thing is, I don't have any bottles of fake tears to cry. But so I'll just keep in mind our most favorite quote, that it is okay to cry because even Jesus wept. We'll see you all next time.